Hello, friends. I hope you're having a great day. Let me tell you a story. A young man boarded a train one night. The train was taking him back to his city. He found a seat and sat down. It was an ordinary train with ordinary passengers. Some were seated, some were lying down, and some were staring out the window. The lights were dim and the ride was calm. After a while, he noticed something strange. They had passed several stations, but the train never stopped. Every time the train approached a station, he could see it through the window, but in an instant it would vanish from sight. He turned to the passengers around him and asked, "Do you know where we're going? Why doesn't this train stop?" They didn't respond. He tried again, but they still didn't answer. It was as if they couldn't see him or hear him. He got up and approached the conductor. The conductor's eyes were empty, like glass. He kept staring ahead without saying a word. The train kept moving on its endless track. As the young man looked out the window, he saw people getting off at the various stops. Some were getting off at the same station. They had been waiting for a long time. Others were getting off at different stops, but none of them seemed to notice the young man. He returned to his seat and looked at the ticket in his hand. It was a one-way ticket. The young man realized that this was no ordinary train. It was a train that carried people who had gone missing, and the train conductor was the one who had taken them away. The young man tried to get off the train, but every time he opened the door, it took him to the same carriage. He looked back at the people sitting opposite him. They were all people who had gone missing. Their faces were pale and their eyes were dull. He thought about his own face. Was he also going to become like them? The train screeched to a halt and the doors opened. The young man hesitated, but he got up and walked towards the door. As he stepped out, he looked back at the train one last time. It was a train full of missing persons, a train that carried people to the afterlife. He walked down the platform and disappeared into the darkness. A few seconds later, the train started moving again. The people inside stirred from their deep slumber, their eyes now focused on the young man who had just gotten off the train. The young man had no idea what was going on. Why had he boarded that train? Where was he going? He had so many questions, but no one to answer them. Suddenly, he felt a tap on his shoulder. He turned around and saw a woman standing behind him. She was beautiful, but her eyes were empty, like the eyes of the train conductor. "Where are you taking me?" the young man asked.